Okay, so it's a MAN TGM. Basically, it's an 18-ton four-wheel drive truck. It used to be a water bowser, so it used to have like a big tank on the back, and that eventually came off, and then the chassis was just sold, and then I took an old box off an old Snap-on tools truck, and I stuck it on there, and then I've gone about fitting it out like you would do a house or a flat, I guess. Oh, well, it's not quite got a nickname yet, but the number plate is L5 Bob, so historically that number plate has got donated to me from my granddad, and then it's gone from van to van to van, and it's always had a nickname Le Bob, because I used to do a bit of travelling in France, so it's always had the nickname Le Bob. And I actually met a guy who came up to me in the middle of France, weirdly, and he was like, my name is Le Bob, and he showed me like his social media, and he was known as Le Bob, he was a French guy, and they said, Le Bob, and then we had this funny moment on the side of a Bulls pitch, would you believe? So Le Bob is his nickname. I was in the market or on the hunt for a four-wheel drive MAN truck, because of trucks to have for overlanding or expeditions, an MAN is what you want. So I originally looked at like ex-army stuff, but I actually started having a conversation with a guy who wanted to do a bit of building work. And I said to him, a bit about the work, and he said, what do you do for a living? Just out of curiosity. And so I sell trucks. And I said, I'm actually after a four-wheel drive MAN. And he went, you're joking. I've got 2 of them in stock that just come in. And I shot down there within about 4 hours, went to see him, and then put the offer in there, because I was like, they're so difficult to find, because nobody has a four-wheel drive truck in this configuration, and it was a good price, and the box was available, and the stars aligned, so I was quite lucky with it also. But previously it was a water bowser truck, like I was saying, and used to carry like big water tanks onto like construction projects around the UK, like HS2 and Crossrail and stuff like that. And what's really cool, the power of social media has got me in contact with the people that originally had the truck. So last week I went down to see them to their yard and had a lot of photos with their crew, and they donated a couple of spare tyres and serviced the truck as well. So it was good to meet the old owners of the truck, and now they've got pictures and they can't wait to see their old truck travel around the world. So it's really nice, really nice. Oh yeah, I've had heaps of electrical issues before. So this is my 5th van conversion, or 4th, and each time I've DIY'd the electrical kit, and each time it's lasted like 6 months, and then I've constantly had problems with it. So that's why I knew when I was going to travel to the far side of the world, I needed a company that I could rely on. I knew I could just rely on every piece of their kit, and they've definitely gone over the top, which is great, so I can rely on it. It's really good sound like that. I forgot the question because I was trying so hard to make it. So previously when I've tried to design and install it, I've made it up as I've gone along. So I've used some products off like Amazon, I've used some products I used to use in the construction business, and it wasn't all compatible, and that's where I found the issues. Whereas what's great about Nomadic Energy is I've told them how I'm going to use it and where I'm going to use it and what I'm going to be using it for. So they had all the information with the usability before they designed the system. So I meant that as soon as I've installed it now, I didn't have any problems, because before it was a bit of a guessing game. I'd install and then I'd work out whether it would actually work or the lights would work. Whereas these guys, I installed the infrastructure and I could just cable everything to it dead straightforward. So it was a lot easier, and it gave me much more peace of mind, because by the time I've done Nomadic Energy's install, I actually wired it within 2 days, because I knew exactly where everything's going to, and there was no trial and error. It was just get on with it. For me, it was the start, and it was inputting exactly how I'm going to use it before I even have a conversation with Paul, who designed the system for me. So as opposed to going back and forth, I'm interested, I've got an inquiry, or this, you go straight to I've got this is how big it is, this is where I'm going to be using it, this is how I'm using it. So you just get streamlined straight into like the middle of their system and their design, their operation, which is fantastic. And then as soon as I had the first conversation with Paul, he already knew exactly where I wanted to go, what I wanted to do. So it was dead straightforward. So it meant that the refinement was so quicker than what I did with any other of the suppliers that I used, which was great. And then obviously Paul was fantastic, and it was great to have a conversation with him, because he works nomadically as well. So I was having a conversation with him while he was going and traveling around Chamonix, and I was just about to go to Chamonix himself. So suddenly then you're working with really amicable guys that you get on with a lot and you've got a lot in common with. So yeah, it was fantastic. Perfect day. I've had a couple of perfect days already on the warm-up trip going to France, Italy, Switzerland, and the perfect day for me is not planned. The perfect day, for example, was I woke up on the side of Lake Annecy and thought, it's getting a bit hot here, and the dog was a bit hot, and I thought, I need to go and find somewhere in the mountains. So decided to drive towards Courchevel and the Three Valleys where I skied before. And I had a pint in the pub at the bottom of the valley. And as I was there, I asked for recommendations. And a couple of guys said, oh, you can, if you got this track and you might be able to find your way there. I ended up driving to the top of Courchevel Valley and ended up sleeping at 2,500 meters above sea level in the middle of nowhere on my own with the dog. Ended up walking to this glacial lake 5 minutes away. And that was the perfect day for me because it comes out of nowhere and you respect it and you appreciate it the most because it's never planned, and it was amazing. Yeah, so in the middle of nowhere, in the truck, beautiful scenery. That's the perfect day for me. So the reason it came about is because it's all come from heartbreak really. So I broke up with my partner over 11 years, about 18 months ago, and I found myself a little bit directionless and didn't know where to turn and what to do. So 6 months ago, I stood with my sister having a beer. I made a bit of a stab that I'd make Mongolia. I'm going to drive to Mongolia is what I said when an old Land Rover pulled up. And then a few pints later, it's kind of got carried away and Mongolia was not quite far enough, even though it's quite far. And I said, I'm going to drive to Australia. And everyone laughed and I said, is it even possible? I can remember getting the phone out and then zooming out and being like, yeah, it looks like you can do it, sort of thing. So everyone thought, I'll forget about it in the morning. And then woke up in the morning like, right, I'm going to Australia. And that was it. And yeah, I had the bit between my teeth and was like, to pull me out of this bit of a hole I was in, and it wasn't a nice place in my life to be in. I was like, I just need to do something completely epic. I need to go and refine my purpose, refine where I want to be, who I want to be with, and what I want to do, and no better way than surely to drive the far side of the world and experience as much as you can. So that's where I was born, and here we are. This is it's a 4-wheel drive off-grid truck, and that's why I built it, to go and travel to places that you can't travel as a tourist. To travel up mountains in the middle of nowhere in the countryside all around the world. So can't wait to get stuck in. Well, Bougie apartment is an inspiration. So many vans just go, we'll do this and we'll carpet that and we'll do that, and it's all very same. And I thought, do you know what? If we're going to live in it, it needs to be bougie. And in my previous life, I was a builder and built really expensive houses. So I've taken inspiration from all those and the detailing and put it all together, and this is it. So it's good, it's functional, but it's a really nice place to be. So I've got things like the sign at the back, and I've got some graffiti walls at the front. So it's cool. It's really, really bougie and quite different. So it's good, nice place to be.